So you've just picked up your new car, get it home, standing there looking at your pride and joy, and you're wondering, how am I going to keep the paint looking shiny and new? One of the most effective options you have is to apply paint protection film to the front of the car. Paint protection film has been around for a long time. It was invented by 3M in the 1960s. During the Vietnam War, the helicopter blades were being pitted from debris. So 3M worked with the US military to try and figure out how to protect the leading edge of the helicopter blades. So they decided to try applying a thin urethane film, and it worked. And then 3M decided to launch into the consumer market in the 1990s. And so 3M invented it, perfected it, and launched it. We're heading off to get this installation done now, and we will walk you through the process. The most common application of paint protection film is on the front bumper and hood. Mirrors and front quarter panels can also be covered, and if you are in an extremely protective mood, you can cover the entire car. This is more common on high-end exotics and can cost from $3,000 to $10,000 depending on the size and intricacy of the application. On average, consumers will spend about $800 covering the front of their car in paint protection film. The overall concept of paint protection film is quite logical. Produce a thin urethane film with adhesive on one side and stick it on your car's vulnerable paint surfaces. Paint protection film manufacturers have created patterns for most new cars. As you can imagine, some of the patterns are incredibly intricate because you only want to cover the painted surface of the front of your car, not the grille, the lights, the parking sensors, etc. And the front of every car is different and requires a pattern that matches the car exactly to the millimeter. So to start the process, the installer loads the specific pattern into the digital plotter. A sufficiently large sheet of paint protection film is loaded into the plotter and the digital cutting begins. Out comes the perfectly matching film that is ready to be applied to the paint surface. 3M has created a proprietary software which their authorized installers use to cut out the exact shapes of the film they require for the car they are working on. In our case, patterns have been created for our 2018 Alfa Romeo Giulia. The installer loads the Giulia patterns into the plotter, and out comes the paint protection film ready to be installed. The first step in the installation process is to clean the paint surface that is going to be covered in paint protection film. Painted surface is washed thoroughly to remove all adhesive residue, wax, tree sap, road tar, bugs, etc. It is very important to start the installation process on a very clean surface. The paint protection film is laid adhesive side down on the painted surface. Once the car's paint surface is clean, the installer sprays his hands, the paint protection film, and the surface that is going to be covered with a baby soap and water solution. This is referred to as the slip solution or the slip agent. Slip solution is used to allow the paint protection film to be moved easily on the paint surface, allowing the installer to position the film in the exact correct position. Once the film has been moved into the correct position, the installer uses a tack solution, which is made of isopropyl alcohol and water, to anchor the film in place. Once the paint protection film is locked in place, the installer uses an application squeegee to force the liquid out from between the paint and the paint protection film. This allows the adhesive on the film to bond to the paint surface. A heat gun can be used in the final stage to ensure all edges have adhered to the painted surface. The overall process takes hours depending on how many surfaces are being covered. In our case, we covered our entire hood, the two front fenders, and the front bumper. The whole process took about half a day. Generally speaking, paint protection film is maintenance-free. Additional protection can be used by applying Meguiar's Ultimate Quick Wax Spray or Meguiar's Ultimate Fast Finish Sealant. The surface that is covered in paint protection film should be maintained like the rest of the car. More care of the paint protection film will result in longer life and effectiveness. So that's it. We've now covered the front of our car in paint protection film. We've given our paint the best defense against stone chips and scratches and tree sap and road tar and all sorts of other debris that can hit the front of our car and damage our painted surface. There are now other manufacturers who are making paint protection film. We have chosen to go with 3M and their Scotchgard product because the Pro Series Scotchgard paint protection film comes with a 10-year warranty, which is the longest in the industry. In order to get the 10-year warranty from 3M, you need to have an authorized installer install your paint protection film. And this is definitely not a DIY project. It takes years of training and practice to be able to do this flawlessly. Plus you want the warranty, so doing it yourself is really not an option. Thanks for tuning in, drive safely, and we'll see you soon.